Hi everyone, welcome back to another little painting tutorial. Today I thought, just before winter ends, because we've got some beautiful weather here at the moment, I thought I'd have a little go at just a very simple snow scene, just showing, how I paint snow. In fact, I haven't painted snow for a long time, so we'll have to see how it goes. But basically, I'm doing quite a simple picture here. I'm going to kind of make it my own a bit. I might change the design a little bit and the way it looks. I'm going to put a couple of people walking down walking away from me here with some nice shadows on it and stuff like that. But basically it's just going to be a nice little simple snow scene. No buildings or anything, just trees. There's some trees in the background there, just to sort of learn how to paint snow, I suppose, which is quite easy, I think, if I remember rightly. So I'll just mix my paint up and then we'll start. Okay, then I've mixed up my colours to start with. I've got cobalt blue for the shadows, I've got some lemon yellow for the trees, and I've got some cobalt blue mixed with a touch of magenta to make a purpley colour. I've got a warmer colour for the background trees, and we'll just see how we go. So I'm just going to literally start painting it. So I'm going to start off with the cobalt blue. I'm going to get all my shadows in first. Bit of lemon yellow in there, where the light on the tree is. Then I'm going to move to a bit more blue. Remember to leave spots for the snow. On the trees. Then we've got shadows running through here. I want to try and get those. You're not going to get them spot on, but you're looking for the approximates. At this stage. Now I'm going to put in my warmer colour in the back here, where the trees are. Just put a little bit of magenta with that to make it a bit a little bit of coal, a little bit of cerulean for the sky back here. And then we've got more cobalt blue shadows running down. There's a little snowbank back here, so we can just put that in. Put some shadows into that walker if we can, and soften some as well. Remember what we talked about was the hard and soft edges. Well, especially in snow, it really is a combination of hard and soft. Not all hard edges, not all soft edges. We've got lots of horizontal type shadows with softened edges. This is a shadow of a tree that's coming in from this direction, so we'll just pop that in. At the moment we're just trying to get the main ones in, so you've got to work quite fast. Tree here, we'll just put some areas of snow on this tree. I'm not using masking fluid, I'm just going to paint round it if I can. I want to get that paint quite thick now because it's going into another wash, this wetter wash, or damp wash that's just there, so I want to get that in if we can. This is just like to remember, this is just the first wash here. We will be coming back, and I'm just looking at the tree and I'm just trying to paint in the shapes. I'm not worrying too. I always say that, don't I? I'm going to put a little bit of magenta in that now, just to change the colour a bit, make it a bit deeper. And I want a bit of lemon yellow. So you've got to keep going from warmer to cooler to brighter, just where the light's picking up the branches. You know, you can make those decisions quite quickly. There's some snow on there, so we'll just paint that snow. And then we'll go back to the cobalt blue again. Touch of magenta, because there's some really nice deep shadows here. They come in. Just got to think about this a minute. Just under this tree, they're kind of little clumps of snow showing just under the tree here. And the shadow goes out across there, but there's little bits of light passing through it, so you don't want to make it so basically it's just like trying to make a pattern there for the snow. So basically that's our first wash, so we'll just let that dry and then we'll come back and we'll add the next wash on top. Okay, I'm just going to go on now to paint these trees in the background here, and for that I'm just going to use a little bit of raw sienna, a touch of magenta and some cobalt blue just to grey it out in places. So I'm just looking to where it is. Okay, I'm just going to start painting the background trees in. For that I'm just going to use a pale wash of magenta and cobalt blue, just slightly thicker, just to get the kind of capture the density of the foliage at the back. Just like soften it slightly. And just warm it up in places. And we'll come back in a minute. It's quite warm through there, it's quite confusing, but yeah, we'll just do it like that. You want to be careful when you're painting this type of thing that doesn't start getting messy and too bitty, which I am very guilty of often doing. So you're just trying to sort of make an impression really of the scene. There's some quite dark blues back here through these branches I can see, so I'm just going to pop those in now. And then we've got some little trees growing up at the back there, and for that I'm just going to use some raw sienna, some cobalt and some magenta. There's my mix in there, look. Somebody asked me about what the bubbles are all about. They're just because it's a slightly thicker mix. When you've got a thicker mix in, you get some air trapped in it and you get the bubbles. Nothing really other than that. So that's just too dark. A bit of brown in that. Still too dark. And there's just trees going off every direction. Here at the background. So we'll just leave that for the time being. A few more back here, we'll just get those in. What's my stomach? Just pop this tree in. Made a mess of that. Never mind, we'll just make it thicker. Right. We'll correct it later. Yeah, it's just too small an area to work on. I can't get the lights on that tree, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now we'll start putting the darker green foliage in the trees. I can see what I'm doing. Which I probably can't. Okay. So I was looking for the overall lights and darks. And the darks are pretty dark on there. And it's those darks that are going to end up making the overall scene come to life, I think. Okay, I don't want to fiddle too much because it's quite a small area, and I think that the smaller the area, the actual less fiddling around you want to do. So that'll probably do for that. Let's come over to this side. And we can get some darks in up here. I'm using my goat hair brush, and I'm actually painting one of my homemade sketchbooks as well. On it's not arch paper in this one. It's what is it? Saunders Waterford, which is still a very nice paper to paint on, but not as good as arch, I'd say, in my opinion. So I'm not, trying to paint the tree every identical and get every pine in. I'm just going for the overall shape. And I probably won't do that very well, but if we get the feel of the little snowy landscape, we're just trying to get it down quickly, and I just want to make sure. Now we get some real nice darks for just down here. So for that I'm just going to mix the cobalt blue with a little bit of the magenta and a little bit of lemon yellow. And if I get more magenta in the blue than the yellow than the lemon yellow, I'll get a nice deep grey green, bluey grey green, really nice. There we go. Should make these little colours come to life. So I'm just painting basically the shadow areas in now, and there's an awful lot of detail there that I could put in, but I'm not. Unless you want to, of course, then you can. I'm just got to go for the overall sort of look of the tree. Because also, when you're making a video, you don't want to be here for hours trying to doing it. You just want to there we do, that'll do for a minute. Come back to that in a bit. Okay, so now that's dried, I just want to go over parts of the foreground with a very pale wash of cobalt blue. I'll keep this simple, but I keep using the cobalt blue. So it's going to be lighter than this colour here, but not too dark at all. So it's going to be lighter, sorry, than this colour here, but not as dark as this one. So it's going to be in between, and it's just to kind of get that nice sort of look you get to snow. A little bit of broken dry brush. Again, we go under those trees there. Maybe put that a little bit darker. A little bit of magenta in there. So yeah, it's just building up the layers really. There we go. Well, just let that dry a minute, and we'll come back and put the final darks in here, and the guy walking down here, and that'll be it. Now I'm going to sort of mix up my darker screen again, but quite a dry mix, and for that I'm going to be using cobalt blue, a little touch of magenta, and just the same one, lemon yellow, and I'm making that really dark. So I've almost got my darkest dark. I want it really dry. I want it so I can get some dry brush with it. And this one, because I want to just get a bit of texture in places on these trees. I'm not really getting what I want. That's better. That's better. So it's just using the brush like almost like a very descriptive scrubbing motion, and that way I'm getting that nice, much drier stroke, and it's breaking up on the tooth of the paper, and it's just what I wanted. I'm just going to come down here and do a bit more work. Let's get a little bit of texture in here. This one's quite a lot of shadow on some of these branches. I don't want to mess about too much there. There's no need. Okay. Just where this snow's on here, there's quite a nice bit of blueness on there. Down here, just want to bring that out a little bit more and roughen it, get a bit more of an uneven edge. It just looked a little bit too smooth. Perhaps that's what you want to do, is avoid patterns forming. You don't want to see patterns like I almost did then. There we go. Okay, we'll just wait for that to dry, and we'll put our little figure in. We might just do a little bit of splattering, bit of texture, and we'll just wait for that to dry and put our little figure in. Maybe put a little red scarf on him or something, and then we'll be finished. Put the head in. We'll have an orange jacket. They're going to stand out a bit. So a nice orange, so orangey red jacket. A little bit of crimson in a second. Then we'll just pop the little dog. We'll have a little dog with them, I think. And we'll just have him, and perhaps this side. Something like that. Just out. There you go. And we can just put a bit of shadow for her. Where she's walked through the snow there like that. There we go. Let's put a little bit more opacity in that jacket. A bit more red. And then just remember to, when you put shadows in like for that, for a person or something, sometimes it's better just to go in and soften them a little bit so they're not too hard. Now obviously this could have been painted differently in the sense that we could have been painted with a much broader colour palette. You know, we've gone quite simple in this, basically for beginners. You know, snow can have lots of colours in it. But it gives us, even though it is very blue, you know, down here, it still gives us that, you know, that feel of snow and the look we're after. So yeah. Okay, then there we have the finished painting. It's a very simple palette of colours we used there. I think we had the Windsor yellow, cobalt blue, touch of magenta, which was for all the greens and for the shadows on the snow. And then for the background warmer colours here, we just used some burnt sienna, a touch of magenta, and a touch of cobalt blue in that. So 5 or 6 colours, and that was it. Bit of cadmium red for this guy's jacket there. But it's so it's a good sort of starter painting to do snow scenes, because you haven't got an awful lot to paint. Obviously most of this is just blue for the shadows, so it's you know, it's a good one to start out with. So you know, have a go, and then let's see what you do in the forum. You know, have a go at it, and I look forward to seeing it. But you know, this is a good painting for anybody to tackle. A good subject, and you know, you can change it around. You don't have to copy my people. You can put different people in it, or don't. But if you don't want to put people in it, don't bother. But I know what you lot are very creative. I'm sure somebody will come up with something pretty fantastic. So I look forward to seeing it in the forum when it's done. So thanks ever so much for watching, and bye for now.